This video will show you how to replace the passenger side valve cover on a Chrysler Town Country with a 3.8 liter engine. This will be located along the rear of your engine compartment. Let's get into it. A quick note about doing this job: the passenger side valve cover will have a PCV valve in it. Typically it will be stuck in place. The rubber grommet becomes hard and it's impossible to remove. It's a good idea to have a brand new PCV valve. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Now we're going to be replacing the passenger side valve cover, which is located along the rear of the engine. To start the replacement of this, we can feel that we do have a breather tube leading from the valve cover up towards our plastic intake plenum. We're going to dislodge the breather tube. Now this does have a small squeezable clamp. We're going to squeeze this. We'll lift this tube up and off of here, just give it a quick inspection. Now for this clamp, you can use some hose pliers or just some regular pliers, whatever's easiest for you. Like I said, just a quick inspection of that hose. This looks good. Let's just set this aside. Now we'll focus on removing our hardware. As we look at this valve cover, you're going to find that you have several 8mm headed mounting bolts. Now some of these do look like studs as well. Either way, we're going to fully loosen them. One thing I'll note is that these bolts do not come out of the valve cover. They stay in the valve cover once they're fully loosened. Let's start the removal of all 8 pieces of hardware. So I get 8mm here. That one's fully loosened. As I mentioned, it does not come out of the valve cover. Let's move along to the next, right below it. That one's loose. Let's move along to the next one just below it. Now as we move towards the next upper piece of hardware, you're going to find that you want to have a shallow swivel head 8mm socket so you can get underneath your intake. This is going to start coming out at an angle. We want to be careful not to get our tool stuck in this area. Just find my bolt. Let's move along to the next. The last one's all the way up in this corner here. After loosening all pieces of hardware, we're going to carefully make our way along the back side of the engine. We'll take hold of the valve cover, start lifting it up. We'll pull it out and through along the passenger side of the engine compartment. Now, before we get ready to install the valve cover and brand new gasket, the first thing we have to do is make sure we clean and inspect the mounting area. You can see all the way along where the valve cover needs to sit on the engine. We want to make sure it's a clean mating surface. You can use a flat blade razor if necessary. You could also use some parts cleaner directly on a rag, not spraying into the engine. If you are using a razor blade, just make sure you're scraping out and away from inside of the engine. We don't want anything making its way inside the engine oiling system. You just want to scrape and then a quick wipe all the way around. Let's make sure we remove any raised areas. Up along the top, we're scraping away from the inside of the engine, just as I mentioned. Just make your way all the way across. Once you feel as though you have it cleaned down well enough, of course you need to make sure you give it a thorough inspection. Just double check, make sure there's no raised areas prior to continuing on. We do not want to have an engine oil leak in this area. Now that I have the passenger side valve cover on the bench, This is where you'd want to remove the PCV valve. Now, in the beginning of the video, I told you that these are typically stuck in place. It's common. You can try using some locking pliers, carefully squeeze on this area, wiggle it, and try to remove it. It may not slip out of position. Gently pry. Once again, typically does not slide out of position. This is why you'd have to replace the PCV valve at the same time as the valve cover. Whether you have a brand new PCV valve or the original, the next thing you're going to want to do is lubricate along the rubber seal here. Just go all the way around. Now we can line this up with the corresponding port and carefully press it down into position. We want to listen for an audible click. Now this can be difficult by hand. Try not to hurt yourself. What you could do is use a small 13 or 12 millimeter socket, go right over the PCV valve, and then lightly tap this down into the fully locked position. Just a couple taps there. Go ahead and take hold of the PCV valve, attempt to slide it out of position. It needs to be locked in. As you can tell, mine is fully seated. We can get this over to the vehicle. Now we can install our valve cover. We'll make sure we have it in the proper orientation. Now you can put this in from either along the driver's side or the passenger side, whichever way is easiest for you. Let's just carefully squeeze it on by. Now, as we bring it down, we're being aware of anything that might get in the way. Obviously, we have our spark plug wires. We want to make sure those are out of the way. Anything else in this area, you can move it around as necessary. Now that I feel as though I have this rested in the proper position, I'm going to continue on by starting in each piece of hardware before tightening any of them. Alright, that one is started in. Okay. There's that one. Once you have all of them started in, we can snug them up. We're starting from the center and making our way towards the outer edges. After each of them are snugged up, we're going to torque them to 105 inch-pounds. It's not very much. Okay, there's that one. Okay. Okay, I finished torquing all 8 pieces of hardware. Let's continue on to our breather tube. As far as this breather hose, we want to make sure we squeeze our clamp, slide the hose down as far as possible, and then secure it with the clamp. Make sure it's properly secured in place. Okay, friend, we finished the installation of our passenger side valve cover. As far as the driver's side valve cover, it's pretty much the same, except out in the open. Aside from that, we typically would recommend doing an engine oil change after you've completed the service. Clean any mess, double check for leaks, and take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.